Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. Okay, so you know what we've got done with this gun stock so far, right? We've got the forearm. We've got the pistol grips. Oh, look, we got a squirrel. And then over on the other side, we got a coyote. Coyote in the woods. Yes, that's what we're putting on here. So, I guess we're going to get started carving here. As soon as we get everything figured out, get all of our camera angles the best that we can get them. Okay, so what we're going to be using is the SCM high-speed air tool to lay out all of this stuff. The coyote on this side and the squirrel on this side. Then once we get all this stuff roughed in, then we can figure out what we're going to do we're going to put a border, right? So we'll come through here and we'll put a line for our border on both sides. I want to try keeping it similar. So, yeah, we'll work on that. I don't know, the coyote nose is kind of high up there, but we'll get it worked on. Okay, so I guess I need to get everything set up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is I zoomed in for you. It's a better look at our squirrel that we're going to be putting on here. And our coyote we're going to be putting on the other side. Okay? So, let's get this camera situated. Right about there, I guess. Okay, as long as we keep it in the frame here, we're all right. All right, yeah, it's a hot day in Michigan, guys. Hot day. It's like right now it's like 80 degrees, and it's going to get hotter. And the humidity's going up. So, what I'm doing right now, to make sure I keep you guys in frame, should we say, I'm putting down some tape on my workbench so that I know where to keep the gun stock. Okay, let me back you out so you can see. Okay. So now I know as long as I keep that stock within this blue tape. Okay, guys, so we have got the squirrel. We've got the squirrel all cut in with our SCM high-speed air tool. We've got the branch done up to here because I don't know, I might have to carry that up higher and longer. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I think what we want to do now is go ahead and get our border taped in so we know where we got to remove our background material. So we got to know how much background we want to take out. So what I'm going to do is use the envisioning tape, our envisioning tape, to set our lines. We're using this 1/4 inch wide tape here, masking tape, and we're just going to set our envisioning lines, and we'll do that on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and that will let us know what we have to fill in as far as for the border. Now you don't have to do this, you can just take it down as much as you want, but this is just something I always do. I like having hard borders as far as that goes, so I know where that you don't want to have your I don't know, I guess you could, but I don't like having my my scenery run over the top of the stock. That's just me. I mean, you guys can do it however you want to do it. But as for me, I don't like doing it that way. So I use my envisioning tape here to set me a basically stop line for where I'm going to stop the picture. Kind of want to look at it, make sure you got the same angle as the gun stock, okay? So let's take it and look at it down the spec here. Okay, that looks pretty good. It looks like we're going to have enough room to do the same thing on this side. So we'll do that again. We'll take our tape. Let me back you guys out so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we'll take our tape and we're going to try matching the other side. Give it that hard line. Okay, so you can see down the middle, looks good. The sling hole somebody drilled in here is off center, so we might just fill that in. I don't know, or put a sling buckle in there, so sling buckle would cover it. Okay, so that looks about right on the top side. Now let's go down and do the top. That's the bottom, that's the top. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Right about there on the top side. Okay, then you can go ahead and you can end it any place you want to. I think we're going to use the top of the hump right here on the gun stock as our stop. And I'm going to try angling it the same as the pistol grip. So something like that, I think. Okay. Now, you don't have to hard cut this. You can round it here if you want to. Bring it up and just do a round deal, or you can make these lines wavy. I'm just using, remember, this is just an envisioning tool, so that we can kind of get an idea where our lines are going to be. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with this side from the top of the hump here. About like that, I think. The squirrel's tail is going to come pretty close. Okay, see, this has got to come up. If you look at your lines, this one's higher than this one. So all we're going to do is just peel the tape back. That's the great thing about using tape and not drawing a hard line in there, is that you can move it. Okay, that's looks like the middle needs to, I don't know, that looks pretty good right there. So we're going to say that's our hard lines. And then you can see where we stopped our tape here. So we can do the same thing here. Something like that. It's pretty, I don't know, looks like it's like this line here needs to come forward a little more. So that's why I like using tape, because you can just peel it up and move it, and then you can compare where your tape lines are coming to. the bottom. This distance from here to here looks good. From here to here looks good. So I think that's the way we're going right there. Now what that's going to let us do is we can either just take our SCM and run a line down here and follow this, or we can just leave the tape on there. Well, I think putting the hard line in is good. We could draw it in. We can come back with one of our round border tools and border this, or we can just leave it like this, because this is all this has to be taken down a little bit. So we can add some more trees in here. You know, we can fill this full of little pine trees or something, and we can round this corner here so it doesn't have to be square. We can just, you know, just come right in here and do that. Give it like that, like the little what they call it, comic book bubbles, I guess. Envisioning tape, you gotta love it. Something like that. Just do that little. That's why I like the 1/4 inch tape, because you can make that like that little bubble thing there. And we can do the same thing to the other side. Now remember, they don't got to be perfect because they're two different dreams, I guess. Two different bubbles. We can do the same thing, come off that branch. Start twisting our tape a little bit to make that bubble. Looks pretty close. I'm just going to snap the tape off there. I want to make that a little more something like that. There we go, something like that. Okay, I think I'm just going to take the SCM and crank around here. So I want to keep my border the same. Now you can do the same thing on this corner. See, I jumped the gun cutting that in. But it'll be all right. That's why we do it light at first, in case we gotta change something. Okay, I want to do the same thing here. I'm just going to come off this line. Well, let's go ahead and I don't want to bring it all the way back to the butt of the gun where the butt plate mounts. So I'm going to come forward a little bit on that. And then I am going to round these corners here because I don't want them sharp. I mean, you can make them sharp, but I don't think I want them that sharp. So with that, I don't got no change in my pocket going jangle langle langle. So we're gonna have to compromise. We use our roll of solder for our corners. So I'm just drawing this in here. And I'll do the same thing up at the top. I'm going to put a little bit bigger radius on this. Broke my lid. Like that. Yep, okay. Hey, I did a pretty good job. Okay, so we got our black marker here. I'll draw it in for you. so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, zoom in. Okay, you see the radiuses I put in here? And we'll just flow them right into our tape. So now when we come in with the SCM, we're just going to follow this black line and go up the green line and around and back. Okay? And we will do the same thing with our wolf over here. We'll put our tape to keep a nice straight line. We may lose a little. Well, I don't think we're going to lose anything because our tree's right on the edge there. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with this. That's pretty good there. Then back here, we'll take our roll of solder and we'll draw in our round corners. Give them that radius. Okay, so this one's going to come around like that, and this one will come down and around like that. And then we got the front here, and we can add another pine tree or something in here. Okay, so we're going to hard cut that border in right now, though. We're going to come in with the SCM tool, and we're going to chase this tape line down here, and then around this corner here, and up here, and we're going to do that on both sides. Okay. Now, you don't have to have the straight lines. You can do a little wiggle, 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 wiggle. You can wiggle it if you want to. I think I'm just going to do the straight lines, though. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Maybe I'll just come, as long as I come down below our tape line and do a wiggle, you know, you're okay. I don't want to be above my tape line. I want to keep everything within this area. So I may do the wiggle wiggle. And then go, you know, just make like a little, like that. All the way around it. On both sides. Okay. So we'll get our border hard cut in. And I'll be right back. We'll see what I come up with. Alright guys, we're going to start this off with the microcarver and a saber tooth coarse bit. Not a very good choice for this. I don't think I stay with it too long. Well, I might rough it out, get a little roughed out. Ultimately, I think the best bits, and this is just my opinion, for doing this is the aluminum cutters that you can get from Amazon. They're cheap. I think it's like 15 bucks and you get 5 or 10 of them. We've got the vacuum running, so I'm doing the voiceover. I have some new bits on order. Cut saw. I ordered some fine ones and some medium ones. But I can tell you, the saber tooth bit, don't get me wrong, it's pretty wore. I've had it for years. It works okay, but it really does leave a super rough finish after you cut with it. So I would strongly suggest, and I'll tell you, the aluminum cutting burrs, because this is such a hard wood, work much better. So I would suggest just going with the aluminum cutting burrs. For my opinion, doing this, I think the aluminum cutting burrs just are, number one, you can get the flame burr, the small flame burr with the aluminum cutter, and you can get into all these tight spaces that you can't reach with the coarse burrs or these extreme burrs. And with gun stocks, you really want to take your time. If you don't have the time to take your time, don't do it. This is not a speedy, super speedy carving thing here. As you can tell by the last 100 years worth of gun stock videos, this is not a quick thing to do. I have sped this up to make it a little less painful. Otherwise, we'd be here for ever. Okay, I'm changing out bits. I'm trying different bits, guys. Okay, I now have the cut saw coarse bit, which is it's that bit my go-to bit. It's looks like a stone bit, but it's actually a carbide bit. I don't know if it's carbide or tungsten. It's one of the two. You can see how quickly I just changed away from that. I was not happy with the cut. So now I'm changing over to the bigger aluminum flame burr. Ah, yes, Rob, that's much better. Leaves a nicer finish. Gets rid of the hardwood quicker. I think it's more of an aggressive toothy bit than the rest of them, even though it's a spiral bit instead of a porcupine bit. That's what we're calling them now, guys. I'm calling them porcupine bits. The spiky bits. So I do probably 90% of this. Well, let's go 75% of this carving of this squirrel with the carbide aluminum burrs. They sell them in two different sizes. They sell this big size here that we're looking at right now, and they sell the smaller size, 1/8 inch. These are 1/8 inch shanks, guys. Okay, and there he is. We got him roughed out, kind of. All right, guys, here's our squirrel. He's getting there. Magnifying glasses, must have for little things. Okay, so what have we got done here? Banging into everything. Okay, we got our little squirrel. He's got all of his hairs. He's got his tail. We're going around and we're cutting in his tail right now. I decided to do a little whoop-de-whoop-de-woo around there, around the frame. Let's back out a little bit. Okay, see, we didn't go straight. We did some whoopties in there, and we're coming in, and I'm just bringing depth into his tail a little bit. Okay, so let's turn him this way. Okay, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm using the micro carver with a carbide flame bit, aluminum style. It's got the deep swirls in it. It's not showing up all that great. Oh, come on. We're gonna play this game with this camera. All right. It's on a little bit of an angle, I think, and it's making the camera go fuzzy. I think that's been my problem, is that it gets on a little bit of an angle, and then it's taking a picture kind of like this. Well, it's kind of taking a picture on an angle, so it can't focus correctly. Anyway, it's hot. Hot. So let me show you. We'll leave the vacuum off. I'm just going to do a little bit to give you guys an idea. We're using the mini carver with the carbide burr. Okay, so we're just nice and light. Coming in here. Don't want to make no big ditches. And we're just removing. Now remember, we used the SMC to trace this out, right? So we got a stop line there for us. Oh, I got too much crap in the way. Okay. So we're just coming in here nice and light and just bringing the nose that up to where the SMC is acting like the stop cut for us, the SMC line. And we're just flattening and taking this background down. Okay? And I think this is going to be the last part for today. It's getting late in the day. You can do this with a Dremel. Okay. And then we'll just bring this background down until we hit our cut line here. Alright, so that's what we're doing, guys. I gotta go see what the shop inspector is freaking out about. And we will catch you on the next one. So share, subscribe, and like. Be awesome. Carve something awesome. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Alright? Alright. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Bye.